Hello, my friends. I'm happy to be with you again. I'm Father George, and I want to share with you the Holy Gospel. Today it is taken from John 8 1 11.
Now a man was ill, Lazarus from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mary was the one who had anointed the Lord with perfumed oil and dried his feet with her hair. It was her brother Lazarus who was ill. So the sisters sent word to him, saying, "Master, the one you love is ill." When Jesus heard this, he said, "This illness is not to end in death, but is for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was ill, he remained for 2 days in the place where he was. Then after this he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." The disciples said to him, "Rabbi, the Jews were just trying to stone you, and you want to go back there?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in a day? If one walks during the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks at night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him." He said this, and then told them, "Our friend Lazarus is asleep, but I am going to awaken him." So the disciples said to him, "Master, if he is asleep, he will be saved." But Jesus was talking about his death, while they thought that he meant ordinary sleep. So then Jesus said to them clearly, "Lazarus has died, and I am glad for you that I was not there, that you may believe. Let us go to him." So Thomas, called Didymus, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us also go to die with him." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, only about 2 miles away. And many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them about their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary sat at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise." Martha said to him, "I know he will rise in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord. I have come to believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who is coming into the world." When she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary secretly, saying, "The teacher is here and is asking for you." As soon as she heard this, she rose quickly and went to him. For Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still where Martha had met him. So when the Jews who were with her in the house comforting her saw Mary get up quickly and go out, they followed her, presuming that she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come with her weeping, he became perturbed and deeply troubled, and said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Sir, come and see." And Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not the one who opened the eyes of the blind man have done something so that this man would not have died?" So Jesus, perturbed again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay across it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the dead man's sister, said to him, "Lord, by now there will be a stench. He has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus raised his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you for hearing me. I know that you always hear me, but because of the crowd here I have said this, that they may believe that you sent me." And when he had said this, he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, tied hand and foot with burial bands, and his face was wrapped in a cloth. So Jesus said to them, "Untie him and let him go." Now many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what he had done began to believe in him. The Gospel of the Lord's.
Today, we contemplate in the Gospel the merciful face of Jesus. God is love. God is love. Love that forgives. Love that has compassion on our failings. Love that saves. The teachers of the law of Moses and the Pharisees said, "Teacher, this woman was caught in a very act of committing adultery." And they asked the Lord, "So, what do you say?" They were not as much interested in following Jesus' teachings as they were in accusing him of going against the Mosaic law. But the Master takes advantage of his occasion to manifest that he has come to seek the sinners, to straighten out the fallen, to call them to conversion and to penance. And this is for us the message of Lent, since we are all sinners and we all need God's saving grace. Today it is said that the sense of sin is lost. There are many who do not know what is good or bad, nor why. It is like saying in a positive way that the sense of love for God is lost. The sense of God's love for us and the reciprocity this love demands from us. He who loves does not offend. He who recognizes being loved and forgiven renders love for love. They asked the friend which was the spirit of love. He answered, "The one where the beloved has cleansed our faults." This is why the sense of conversion and penance during Lent is to confront us face to face with God, looking to the eyes of the Lord in the cross, to personally go and confess our sins to Him through the sacrament of penance. And Jesus will tell us, as He did with the woman in the Gospel, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now and do not sin anymore." God forgives, and this entails a demand on our side, a commitment. Do not sin again. Just ask Jesus that. Give us the grace for don't sin again. And how? Living in love, because love gives value to things.